What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Nerds Galore, where we let our inner nerd roar. So, I got with some special guests with me today. As typical, I got Mr. Whistling Breeze over there next to me. What's going on, Seth? How are you?
Doing well.
Good. Below me here, I got special guest, Star Wars nerd, 00 in the building, General Kenobi. And in the corner down there, I got Mr. Cantina Talk himself. What is going on? How are you tonight?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
Doing well. I'm excited to be here, you guys. I've been looking forward to this all week. So we left off last week talking about some of the sequel stuff. And I know it's been talked about a lot. But one of the things we talked about and ended and kind of put a little cliffhanger in there is what you would do to change the sequel trilogy. And one of the things that was we had talked about afterwards and we had teased about it before we ended was what if the Luke on the island in The Last Jedi is not actually Luke, but it's Luke from the Heir to the Empire series. Now, I want to hear what you guys think about that. And let's get this conversation rolling. Who wants to start?
I like the idea, but knowing Disney, that's Luke Skywalker. That's not Luke. It's not Jake Skywalker. That's unfortunately their version of Luke Skywalker.
Right.
And I just feel like nothing they can do or will do will resolve that for me.
Right.
But I've got a couple of things that like can fix the other things around Luke, later on when we get to that.
Okay. Yeah. Save those. I want to hear those thoughts.
I like that.
Yeah.
I think it would. Go ahead.
I'll say too. I exactly where with nerd on that. Like to me, that has to be Luke. Like, there's no way that I can't see Disney being like, no. That was just Luke's clone.
Right.
But there, like nerd says, well, I have my own justifications for it and the ways that they could justify it if they so choose.
Yeah.
I agree. I think the underlying issue is the attitude that Disney took towards Luke, even just the original three, Luke, Han, and Leia. The way that they decided to take those characters, you can try to explain it, but really that doesn't fix what they would do with them anyway.
Yeah,
it's the core issue is with them.
Yeah,
I mean, also, how do you bring the three main characters back and never have them share a scene on screen?
Right.
While they were
that was
still
a tragedy
able to and be around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was definitely a tragedy. Yeah. Now, I personally I get what you guys are saying, and I would agree with it. I kind of like the idea of him being Luke for the simple fact is it does make a few things make more sense. Like why he tosses the lightsaber over his shoulder, why he's kind of this doesn't care anymore kind of Jedi is because he's not actually Luke, and one of the theories that I've heard, and I know Cantina Talk, I think you said you've talked about this, is if that is Luke, well, if that is Luke, where's Luke? Well, maybe he's out hunting down the Yuuzhan Vong or something, there's just some cool avenues that you could go down with that road.
Yeah.
So for me, I've always thought in some way, Mara was there that she was just never talked about in the sequels, and Ben either killed Mara or Luke saw that Ben was going to kill Mara and his children, and that's why for that second he thought about striking down his nephew. But even then, I can't see it unless Mara's being slaughtered in front of Luke. But then I don't even know.
Yeah, that whole scene didn't make sense. Why he's it was just an absolute character assassination. You have
in that scene, I could totally be like, okay, that might be Luke, but that's not
right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, if Luke is the one having that vision per se, where it's like he has a vision of Ben doing all this stuff. Well, then I could see that being maybe Luke standing over the bed with his lightsaber, like because he doesn't know any better. He's not the true Luke. But yeah, just really interesting. Um Star Wars nerd, what are some of the things like you said you have some things that you would change kind of around Luke? What are some of those things you
Well,
would
it's not necessarily around Luke. It's kind of like the sequel trilogy as a whole.
Okay.
And I'm going to be kind of pulling from different theories that I've seen and heard about. Like, obviously, the one that I'm a massive fan about is Troy Bond. He actually has a theory from the ending of episode 7 where it looks like Luke's standing over a grave, so it could be Mara Jade's. And what did he say? Is like um Ray was Luke and Mara Jade's child, and when Ben turned to the dark side, he was gonna kill her, but he couldn't bring himself to kill his cousin, so he mind wiped her and dropped her off on Jakku. But what I would have done was, to me, she's still a Palpatine. They wanted to go all over the place. First, she's a Kenobi, then a nobody, then, all right, Granddad's Palpatine.
Yeah.
Cool. Stick with that. Show me a Palpatine in the future doing good for the galaxy, trying to make up for the decades of just bullcrap that Granddad did.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that would just solve like 95% of the problems that I have, because I don't like Rey being a Skywalker.
Yeah.
I feel like, the Rise of Skywalker, all right, cool. We had Ben Solo, we had Leia, we had Luke. Why not show their kids rising up? No, we're gonna kill the last Solo / Skywalker at the very end of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've said that before too. Like when it came to Rey at the end of the Rise of Skywalker, and she's asked her name. I'm like, okay, for 9 movies, you've been fighting the Palpatine line. Like, if she were to say, "I'm Rey Palpatine," well, now you've opened yourself up to a new world of exploration where you can do new movies. You can explore her past, her lineage. Where does she come from? Right? Like future stuff that she does, like you said, doing good for the galaxy. But she says Rey Skywalker, and she like boxes herself. They box themselves back into that Skywalker saga, and it's like, why would you do that? Like, you kind
Especially
of
when their whole thought was like, we need to move away from the Skywalker saga. You just add that back to it. Like that doesn't
right.
This doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we need to move away from it. But this is Rey Skywalker. It's like, I don't know where you're going with that one, buddy. Yeah.
Oh man.
That's as I said a couple episodes ago or a few episodes ago. It seems like the bane of just the Star Wars IP at large is the people making each trilogy. They don't think all the way through their decisions before they make the decisions. So then it gets to the end and they're like, put a bandage over here, slap some glue on there and look, it's good. It's like, no, you didn't think that through, did you? So
it's also apparent when like they didn't even have like 7 through 9 like fully written out or anything. They were just doing it like on the spot.
Yeah.
The lack of planning is what it's caused everything.
Yeah. It seemed like 7 came out, and then it almost seemed like there's a lot of things that Rian Johnson did in episode 8 that was a retcon of some of the things in 7. And then J.J. Abrams came back and was trying to like retcon the retcon. You know what I mean? Like it was a mess.
Yep, they couldn't have just taken a page out of the original trilogy's book. I mean, 3 different movies, 3 different directors, 1 cohesive story.
Yep.
I mean, they could have even went with George's plans. George gave them the outline for 7, 8, and 9, and they
they were supposed to.
Yeah, didn't he when he signed over the company? Didn't he tell him like, "Here's my plan for the sequels. Like, here's my idea."
He was supposed to have like creative involvement with it too, and when they went the complete opposite, he was just like, no.
Yeah.
Because originally Darth Talon and Maul were supposed to be the villain of 7, 8, 9.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that would have been awesome.
So, yeah.
That would have been so cool.
It's the famous you didn't get it in writing. You had a verbal agreement, you had an understanding, but it's not in writing, so
Yeah, absolutely. How about for the Cantina Talk, Whistling Breeze? Anything? What would you guys change? Was there anything in the sequels that you guys would change to change things up?
I mean, I can write a book. It's
True.
I would just you start from the beginning with the source material. Go back to the 40 years of books, comics. It's there. Use it. Everything could have been avoided.
Oh,
10
100%.
times over.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. But hey, just reminder, Cantina Talk. They don't have any source material, so
Yeah.
That's why Joe and I are making animated Legends content because they're not getting it. So
yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you guys are making some Legends content, huh?
Well, yeah. So we're doing the trailers for Heir of the Empire that's already done, Dark Force Rising, and then The Last Command, and then
Ooh.
depending on how those trailers go and how well they're received, we will go and start doing scenes. We have some scenes already from the first one, but we'll be doing scenes and stuff from there. I'm also trying to work on stuff in Unreal Engine, and I want to do something with NJL in that, like a series.
All right.
But that's me animating all by myself in Unreal Engine, so that's gonna take years. But this is the goal of mine.
That's really cool. See, and I love a lot of these fan made things that have been coming out. Like some of them are really good. I'm like, I can't believe that's fan made. Like this is phenomenal.
It's so incredible what people can create.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And just so you know, once you guys start coming out with that stuff, I'm going to be lambasting it all over everywhere. Just so you know. So
thank you.
I know for me personally, I want to see that type of content.
So yeah, the Dark Force Rising trailer is on track to come out on Christmas Day, and Heir of the Empire one came out last year. So hoping to have the third one done sometime in the next 2 years.
Sweet.
But we're having one person hand animate and draw everything, so everything looks beautiful. It just takes
cool.
A while.
And the beautiful thing about, like you said, consistency, having that one person do it, the art's the same, the flow, the style, everything's the same through it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you something. I don't know if it can be shown, but this is just for you to see the beauty behind the. This is just a concept drawing for Mara Jane.
Okay.
Actually, no. Yeah, you can show this. Joe has showed this before.
Okay. Cool.
This wasn't finished. It has been finished since, and it looks a lot better. But this was just one of the concepts that was made. So that's what I'm saying.
This is cool, guys.
That's hand drawn. So that's just one frame.
And that's exactly like with the colors on that. Like when she's described in Heir to the Empire, that's the colors that you think of. You know, they talk about these emerald green eyes and this really full red hair, you know, that's what you think of.
Yeah, we're trying to stay true to it as best as we can, but we're also updating and changing a couple things with the lore, because I mean Luke was cloned in a month in the Heir trilogy, and obviously we know in canon that you can't clone in a month.
Right,
it takes years. So obviously things like that are being changed. But yeah, really excited for it.
That is really cool. I'm stoked for it.
Oh yeah,
I appreciate
that.
Yeah.
You might
it's
hear
amazing what you can do when you love stuff.
Yeah, especially when you have your fan base loving it too.
Exactly.
Yep. And that's the thing too, is now's the time for fan made things, because obviously we're not getting it from Disney over there. If you have the opportunity to make this stuff, it's gonna go hard because people are hungry for it.
That's exactly why Joe and I decided that we wanted to do this, was because we're like, well, Disney has these stories. Why not make them an animation? It's cheap. Why not do it? It's like we did this from the start as a proof of concept, just look to show Disney hey, this can be done. Do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Man,
Appreciate it.
yeah, I wish we have more people doing stuff like that. Like more and more people just start like let's make our own IP. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make our own Image comics.
yes. I love
Yeah.
that stuff.
The stories are there, the concept, the characters, it's all there. You just have to use it.
Right. Yep.
And nothing is plagiarized because Star Wars was plagiarized, Dune was plagiarized. Everything was taken from something at some
Yeah.
point. This here, there. So just take
Yeah.
what's here and make it your own.
Yeah. So what's that process been like? Because I know, like, even though, like you just said, like it's been plagiarized, like I mean, everything's been taken from something. At the same
Yeah.
time, I'm sure you still have to be careful of some of the
Oh yeah,
things that you're.
100%.
So, like, what's that process been like? Is that
I mean, we haven't had any issues. It's more as in like, for example, like in Star Wars, spice is a thing. In Dune,
Yeah.
spice is a thing.
true?
That's kind of what I meant, as in like
Yeah.
things are like inspiration is taken from everywhere.
True.
But it's great. There's if you pay close attention in the Heir to the Empire trailer, there's some Easter eggs and some nods to things that we'll see are changes that we made in the story, that will come out in probably the Dark Force Rising trailer, but mainly
Okay.
the Last Command trailer.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to keep an eye out for that, and I'll if it's cool with you, I'll put a link in the description for that Heir to the
course.
Empire one. So that's already out. So sweet. That's cool. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Looking forward to everyone seeing it too.
Another thing we want to talk about a little bit too was I don't know if you guys saw the new Star Wars Visions season 2 was announced, which was it was actually a really weird time. I mean, I think I was getting off of work or something like that, and I was like, why are you not like? I figured they would probably wait till later to announce that.
Wait, season 2? I thought
I
season
believe
2.
I believe so, or is it season 3? There's a new Visions. I'm pretty sure that they announced.
Because
I don't
I
know. I
thought
don't
season 2
keep up
came
with
out like
Vision.
last year or something like that.
Maybe.
All right, I might be thinking of What
I might
If.
be
I'm
wrong.
not too sure. Star Wars Visions
Volume
season
3.
2.
Yep, Visions Volume
Okay,
3.
sorry,
I was incorrect. You were right. So, but I totally thought they probably would have waited until the Star Wars Celebration to announce all this stuff. It was just kind of out of nowhere. There was like no like, hey, we got a new trailer coming out. Nothing. It was just like, boop, there it is.
Honestly, that's kind of how it felt though. Like with someone like the Marvel stuff too. It's like they're not really they're not making they're not waiting for these announcements. They're kind of just dropping things.
Yeah, it's true. So like, what are your kind of thoughts about the whole Visions? Do you guys watch any of the Visions? Like, what were you guys?
No, I didn't watch Visions. I watched like one episode and was like, this ain't for me. I'm also not a big anime fan, so it's kind of hard for me to get into it, even though it is Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at too. Like I watched I think the first episode, and then I got up to where like, it was like Boba Fett was in the episode, and they were like a rock band. And then I saw
Yeah.
another one where it was like a brother and sister that were like Imperial. And after that, I was just kind of just like, this isn't for me.
Same.
I didn't watch season 2 either. It's just one of those things where it's like it's the concept's great, but I wish we would have got What If instead.
Yeah,
Just because
yeah.
so much work can be done.
Man, I was actually just talking about that. I can't remember who was talking about that. Like, they did that with the Marvel stuff, right? Like, what if? I would love
How
to
it's
see a
ending.
Star Wars What If. It's awesome.
Yeah, like literally the license to print money is there. If
Yes.
that's what they need, if that's what they want to do is make money. I mean,
There it is.
I can think of a million different what ifs right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
you're right.
yeah, a million different what ifs. Like you like they're also sitting, like you said, like on the non-source material, source material. That if they wanted to make money, like there's just so much that they sit on that they just like they instead of using it, they'd rather take a crap on it. And it's like, come on, like you have so much there.
But here's the thing: if you said, "Yeah, but what if Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit?" and now they made a show about it, but it's not a good show.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did not like Boba Fett at all. He's my favorite character, and
For
he's
real.
supposed to be a badass, and they made him out to be a pansy. I want to hold hands with everybody, and I'm like, that's not Boba. Nope.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know that I talked about this when we did our when Joe and I came on. Podgazer, but like how when your main actor is telling you that that like they don't feel like they should be talking as much as the character they're playing, that's kind of an issue.
Yeah.
Especially if the actor's like, "Hey, I shouldn't like." Tem definitely needs to get some justice done for him.
Oh
He's
yeah,
been wronged so
For
many
absolutely.
real.
times.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Seth, you had said this before, and I kind of like the way you put it was really well, and you might not remember exactly, but you had talked about like Disney characters, like it looks like Thrawn, it feels like like kind of explain that because like I really like the way that you explained that a few episodes ago.
So I think that it kind of goes back to, if you're trying to fix the sequels, well, you can change little things, but it's the heart, it's the core of who the characters are that has to change. And Disney doesn't like those characters. It doesn't respect them. It doesn't want them to be them. So even when they bring back Thrawn, or we're gonna act like Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit, or whatever, who they bring back isn't them. So yeah, here's Han Solo, but he's not Han Solo. He's a deadbeat dad who went back to smuggling. Here's Luke, but he's not the eternal optimist who would never murder his nephew in his sleep. It's like, no, he would definitely murder his nephew in his sleep. Like, so it's him, but it's not him. And it's because, in my opinion, Disney, it seems like, is trying to make their own characters be the characters. And so in order to do that, they have to get rid of who was there before. So it's not like you can fix that with superficial things. It's down to the core of what they're doing. It's like, look, there's room in this galaxy for everybody. You can have awesome new characters. You can have the children of the original trilogy characters rise up, and you can make them. But have the scene where all three, Han, Luke, and Leia, get back together. When what was it? At the end of Force Awakens, let Leia hug Chewbacca and Rey. Don't walk right past Chewbacca. Like, you have to think about these things. You can't just disregard everything that came before so your stuff seems better. It's like, no, show some respect for what has come before, and the people who love what came before will probably be more likely to enjoy what you put out at the same time because you extended them some courtesy, some respect. Um, but they don't do that because they have no respect for what came before. They're like, no, we own it now. So whatever we decide is good, and take it or leave it. This is what it is now. But of course, now they're recognizing that most of the fans go, yeah, we'll leave it. Thank you very much, but we're not going to take it. We're going to leave it. So
Yeah, that's good.
I love what you said about the Chewbacca thing. Like I always took that in the movie as kind of like how like Chewie never got his medal and like
Yeah.
A New Hope. I was like Chewie's always just been left out. But after you
yeah,
said that, I was like, damn, like no, like it definitely makes sense. Like they definitely could have done that.
yeah,
Yeah.
just hug them both. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a
My
Wookiee.
first
He can hug three people at the same time.
and have all their arms out. Like it's
Yep.
but yeah,
Pull their
that's,
arms out of the
was just
sockets.
I was just like, well, Chewie didn't get a medal, he didn't get a hug. That's just like
Yeah,
Chewie's just shell luck.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. I like what you said there about like it's not that we don't want to see new characters. It's
yeah,
that we just want the respect of like, hey, we know you guys like these characters from the other movies. We appreciate that. Here's a nod to you guys, but we are moving on with some
yeah,
new characters.
yeah.
Okay, like I can start getting behind that train as long as you have a good storyline for these characters. Like that's cool. But
Yeah.
yeah.
If you're gonna bring back Harrison Ford for one movie, like he said, I'll come back for one more movie. I don't want to be in any more. Give me a bunch of money. I'll be in one, and I'm done. Like, okay, he can die. That's fine.
Yeah.
But give him a heroic life and a heroic death. Don't don't make him like deadbeat. Don't do that to him. And
Yeah.
then just a meaningless death.
Yeah.
I mean, not meaningless, but just so empty.
Yeah.
Especially when the bad guy who's like, oh no, we're gonna prove to you that Kylo Ren, he's for real a bad guy. But then at the end, he's well, not really. Well, then it was pointless that you killed Han Solo in the first movie, because then at the end it was like, well, I guess it wasn't that bad anyway. Like I needed it. What was it? A Force ghost, but not a Force ghost of my dad to convince me to go back to the light.
So I was gonna say too. It's just like, but then he also came back, like
right. Yeah,
which
was
was
like, guys.
So somehow that was also Leia, not actually Han too. Like that was like like they never like it's like Han doesn't like obviously like everyone has midichlorians, but Han can't use the Force. That wasn't Ben doing that. That was Leia Force projecting Han to him.
Yeah.
Into like her dying moments. That like so like but they never specified that. That came out in the book, the novelization going along with it. Like they never explained shit. They just expected you to just know.
Right.
Follow along.
And the other thing that like it just felt like, I mean, the entire thing felt cold, but like, okay, with Anakin, at least with his turn to the dark side, you had 3 movies. I mean, 2 with Hayden, but like 3 movies to see his progression to the dark side, why he turned. And then because of that, what he had to do to save the one he loved, right? Like it was just, you saw that's why he killed the younglings and all those people. As horrible as that was, he had to do that to turn to the dark side, right? To fully commit himself. Well, with Kylo, it was just like, I have to kill you. Done. And it was like, okay. There's no story behind that. Like, there's like, to me, there was no, like you said, like it was cold. I don't know. It just didn't seem right.
Well, also with Anakin, we already know that Anakin's gonna end up as Vader. Like we already know that's going to happen. They could have done the same thing with Kylo, but they didn't know where he was going to be.
Right.
Like, it just goes down to like who is handling the character. Like when John and Dave handle Luke, like especially when John handles Luke, it's like that's Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
But when anybody else does, not necessarily.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I loved that Luke that we got in the end of Mandalorian season 2 when he shows up and he's just beating the crap out of those.
Yeah,
I mean, was like,
I love that too. I was speaking more of even like the Book of Boba Fett, like that, like because like that version of Luke was all Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
it was like to me like that felt the most like Luke since Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, that was good too. Yeah. Man, so many, like, again, I'll go back to this. I think you need to give creative control to Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and Sam Witwer. I think those 3 guys need to have creative control over Lucasfilm, but I digress.
I mean, technically that's where it's going to be with Dave's new position. That's because Skeleton Crew is the first project where Dave's new position is in effect. The Acolyte was the last one that was greenlit in 2019 or 18, sorry.
Okay.
So like Skeleton Crew is John and Dave's first movie with Dave's full creative control over Star Wars. So this is really the test to see if it's going to turn around. I'm 100% hopeful it's going to.
Same.
with Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
With John and Dave, because if you've noticed in all the trailers, there's no executive produced by Kathleen Kennedy anywhere. They are not even promoting her name. It's all Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni.
I love that. And I loved the vibe of the trailers. It felt like a Guardians of the Galaxy type vibe.
That's to me, it was like Guardians of the Galaxy meets Goonies meets like Labyrinth, even like
right. Yeah. I mean, speaking of the MCU here, we'll kind of get into this a little bit. Like this is Nerds Galore. We don't just talk Star Wars, our first love. Don't get us wrong, but we do also like the MCU. So I want to ask you guys. We'll start off with this. We'll kind of ease our way into the MCU here. Favorite Marvel character, MCU character, and why? Oh, he's got something to show. Oh, here we go. While he's getting that, anyone else want to speak on their favorite favorite character?
Mine is Spider-Man.
Okay.
That's I don't know which one was actually one of the first movies I actually watched growing up. It was either the 2002. I know we're talking about MCU, but the 2002 Spider-Man movie and not Revenge of the Sith. A New Hope were like neck and neck with like one of the first movies I ever saw growing up.
Okay.
Spider-Man has just always been a big part of my life. Like, I mean, I've read a couple of the comics. I've read like, I forget the name of it. I'd be able to pull it up afterwards, but I've read one full comic run, and it was like I don't know, just Spider-Man. It don't matter if it's Toby, Andrew, or Tom. They're all amazing, and I just love them all, dude.
Yeah.
I'm like a little kid every time I watch the movies.
I love it.
I mean,
I love it.
I'm gonna say that technically the Tobey Maguire movies, along with Andrews, are MCU canon. I mean,
Yeah,
especially even with Across the Spider-Verse kind of showing it, like with it being canon events. Like I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like technically you can still say that's MCU
Yeah.
with them showing up too. I mean,
Yeah.
you can debate that, but that's at least my view on it is that could still be MCU.
I love it. Whistling Breeze, how about you?
Just looking back at the MCU movies, I think one of my favorites was the first Iron Man movie.
Okay.
So the
Fair
first
enough.
one, and I know that's very early in the whole
That was what,
cinematic universe.
2005, I think that came out?
I
2006?
think so.
Something like
It
that?
was
2008 for the first Iron Man.
2008.
Was it 2008? Okay.
Yeah,
A little
2008.
further. Okay.
It's been a bit,
so
but
long ago.
that
Was
spirit that it had was really good. I think.
Yeah.
John
The,
Favreau, baby.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yep. I love it. Yeah. I think for me it was a combination a little bit. So for me that first Iron Man, that was so cool cuz up until that point when Iron Man was coming out, I'll be honest, I didn't really have a whole besides Star Wars, I didn't really have a whole lot of like nerdum stuff that I got into, and I had some older friends that loved the MCU, and I was like, "What is this thing you call the MCU?" And they started talking about Marvel comics and stuff with me, and like Iron Man came out, and I'm like, this is awesome. I love Iron Man. And then, you got through the Iron Mans and stuff, and then you had the first Avengers come out. And then after things started progressing, I think my favorite character that I loved watching is Doctor Strange. I love Doctor Strange. Go ahead,
I was
Canteen.
gonna say I'm one of the few people that when I left the theater, I really liked Multiverse of Madness. After everything came out of like what it could have been, not like I don't like it as much, but I really like Multiverse of Madness, even
Yeah.
though it wasn't much multiverse.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't really much multiverse, but I did like aspects of it I thought were pretty cool. But yeah, Doctor Strange for me, I really like and then having Benedict Cumberbatch play him, I love Benedict. I think he's a
Yeah.
great actor, and having him play Doctor Strange, I think sealed the deal for me. I'm a big Doctor Strange guy.
That was good casting.
It was.
Also having him play Dormammu at like
Right.
the back of it too, like and do
Yep.
the motion
Yeah.
capture for it, like that was cool.
That was really cool. Yeah. And he's just in that ever looping circle where he just like dies, comes back, dies, comes back, dies, comes back. Like we're
I've
just gonna
come to
keep doing
bargain.
this. Yep, I've come to bargain. Yep. Oh man. All right, Cantina talk. How about you? Favorite character and why?
Okay, so it's going to be Daredevil, 100%.
There you go.
No one will ever replace Matt Murdock. That's so many different levels. Relatability. I don't know, like everything from Matt's childhood to the way he grew up. Like I'm not religious, and I haven't been for years, but I grew up Catholic. Matt's Catholic. Grew up family from New York. Poor boxing family. Like it's just there's
Yeah.
so many similarities, and it's just like even I'm not blind, but I resonate with this character the most.
Yeah, that's cool. So I'm assuming then you probably love the new show that's came out a few years ago with I can't remember his name now.
Charlie
Help me
Cox.
out. Yes.
Yeah. That show I can make a 10-hour masterclass on like, just why each episode is so perfect, down to like the cinematography, like details on certain episodes. Like there's so many great things about the show.
Yeah. I did watch, I think, how many seasons are out now? Is it 3 seasons that are out now?
Yes, there's 3 seasons, but there's
Okay.
also like seasons and other shows that connect where Matt is in. So like you have to. It's kind of a stretch to watch all of it together, but if you
Yeah.
have the time, that's right.
I watched the first 2 seasons when they came out. Now, that's been a while for me. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it in a while, but I did remember as I was doing it, I loved watching them.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. So, now that we have our favorite characters, we got, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Mr. Iron Man, and then, Daredevil. What would you say is your favorite MCU movie as a whole? Um, and again, why? Why do you like that movie?
I was gonna say for MCU, I'm gonna have two just because in case of recency bias,
Okay.
I'm gonna say Deadpool Wolverine because I've been following like Channing Tatum as Gambit since the news first came out of him making his movie back in like 2015, and then going back and finding out everything about like he's been trying to get this made since Ryan Reynolds was in X-Men Origins. Like he's been trying to
Okay.
get this made as long as Deadpool, and seeing him in Deadpool Wolverine as Gambit, seeing Blade, seeing everyone come back, it was just like this is
That's
my
cool.
childhood wrapped up in one.
That's
Because
cool.
my favorite
Yeah.
Marvel movie is the 2003 Daredevil. So like everything just came back together in Deadpool Wolverine. But if not that, then I'm gonna say the Winter Soldier.
Okay. Winter Soldier is a good one. That's a
Yeah.
really good one.
It's a good one.
How
I
about
know
you
that's
guys?
overrated though. Everyone always says Winter Soldier, but
No, it's all good. I mean, everyone to each his own, man. Like everyone has his own favorite, and whether it's one of the ones that everybody else says or something completely different, it's totally cool, man. Like I just love the way that everyone is able to connect to a story, a certain
yeah.
story. I think it's super cool. So
I would say Civil War, but I think they could have done so much more with that story, um, especially nowadays with like however you want to talk about how our own government is spying on people and all that kind of stuff. But it's well, we're doing it for your own safety. It's like, yeah, but if you're being spied on by your own people, then you're not free. So okay, what's more important, freedom or safety? And that kind of serious conversation that has real world implications, I think, is really important to have in comic books and movies and things like that because it helps people grapple with what do you value more? How do you think things should be run? What are you comfortable with? What do you believe in? These kinds of questions. I think that's one of the strengths of comic books is like hypothetical situations.
Yeah.
But I don't think the movie really pushed that as much as they could. They did. They did push some, but I think they could have done like had a more philosophical push to it. Which I understand. It's a comic book movie. It's not supposed to be like the deepest thing.
yeah.
Um, but I think that did have more something like that would be that first Iron Man movie. It's here's like, hey, you can make all the money you want, but how did you make that money? So you can say, oh yeah, I'm a billionaire. What is it? Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist, and
Yeah.
all that.
Yep.
But
What are you without the
you,
suit?
yeah, exactly. But it's you got that by like paying other people to kill people. They're like, we're not paying other people, giving other people the means to kill people. That's how you made your money.
That's
And
exactly why
so,
Tony said stop too. Was like I don't want to kill people anymore with my
exactly,
guns. Like
exactly. And I think um, it's. I mean, it's a comic book movie. It's not like some high and mighty morality tale, but I think it's a good movie to be like, hey, you can have what you want, but it's going to cost you. So if you're going to make money off the backs of other people, or not backs of other people, but basically dealing death, you can't do that without something coming back on you.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah.
I think you'll really like Brave New World. Because like Civil War definitely didn't dive on like Civil War. Same thing with Secret Invasion should have been made 10 years from now
Yeah,
when we have everybody. But Brave New World I feel like is doubling down on everything Civil War didn't do. At least from the last trailer, I really got that feeling. I'm
Good.
really excited for it. I'm hoping it's going to be like that.
That's
Good. Good. There's some
Yeah.
great stories out there.
Star Wars nerd, how about you?
I'm gonna have to pull two, kind of like Cantina talks. First one, obviously, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Is like I saw it 7 times in theaters. Like,
Yeah, it's a good
And,
one for sure.
I saw
I
Deadpool
mean, it
Wolverine
brought
7 times in
all
theaters.
three
That's
Spider-Man
yeah.
into the big screen. Andrew Garfield gets redemption from not saving Gwen. He saves
Oh
MJ.
man, I teared up on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Freaking Tom Holland going ham on Norman Osborn and him just like, what up, bud? I'm just gonna laugh maniacally, like, nah, like
Norman's
Yep.
on sabbatical, honey. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that was great. Yeah. And that ending too, like to see the cost of like him choosing, as hard as it was, choosing the right thing to do over what he wanted. Like, man, I just like, and then they come into the coffee shop and like he obviously knows them. They have no idea who he is. And he's just kind of like, I'm just gonna let it go, walks out of the coffee shop. And then to see him don at the end of that, to don that
Dude,
classic red and blue
homemade
suit,
suit
I was like, yes.
I have two things for that. So you just said like about how like they might not remember. MJ is wearing that Black Dahlia necklace. It's still broken,
Yeah,
and she touches it in that scene.
yeah.
I feel like she still knows in some little way. But look
That's
what you said
true.
about the suit. It goes back to what Tony said in Homecoming, where if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. Peter now has nothing. Besides, the only thing he has is the suit,
Right.
and now he is Spider-Man.
Yes.
Peter Parker no longer exists.
Right. It's just Spider-Man now.
Isn't that what
Yep.
they like actually said, like in the script, like that Peter Parker doesn't exist? It's just
Yes.
Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's
Yeah.
exactly why I was quoting. Was like
Oh
Peter
my
Parker
god,
ceases to exist. It's just Spider-Man now.
Yep.
dude!
I will say the cool thing too at the end is when they brought back in that apartment that he's in. And about the rent. Dude, I laughed
I
so
so
hard.
wanted like the door to like get stuck.
Yep. I laughed so hard. I was like, this is great.
Oh man, yeah. Me and my buddy, we had watched like all the other Spider-Man movies leading up to. 'Cause it was his birthday. Like we went to the midnight release on his birthday.
Heck
So
That's cool.
we watched all the movies, and when that scene came up, he said, "I swear, if I hear red, I'm gonna lose my mind."
I love it.
But the second one would have to be probably Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, because I still know nothing about him. I've seen the movie like twice, and it's still like one of my favorite ones. And I try not to rewatch it so it doesn't kind of lose its momentum for me or like speciality. It just blew me away. I walked out of the theater thoroughly entertained, and I know it's bracelets instead of rings, but
I'm
I
all
don't
for
know.
it.
I thought it was pretty funny, them bringing back the dude from Iron Man 3, the fake man.
Trevor Slattery,
Oh yeah. I love
Sir Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Just those two movies, I had the most enjoyment watching them in theaters. They're probably some of the best theater experiences I've had, aside from the Phantom Menace re-release.
That's cool.
That's why I'm so excited for Spider-Man 4, because Dustin Daniel Cretton, who directed Shang-Chi, is directing Spider-Man 4.
Really?
Which is like, yeah, he was supposed to do Secret Wars and the Kang Dynasty originally, but now he's doing Spider-Man 4 instead. He's
That's
the director
cool.
for that movie. So like, it's gonna be good. There's no way it's not gonna be good with him at the helm.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah.
When is that set? Did they have a release year as far as when that's supposed to come out?
Yeah, it's gonna be in between Secret Wars and Doomsday. It starts filming next year after Doomsday finishes filming. They're filming back to back. So
Okay.
it's like Christopher Nolan's movie is filming with Tom Holland, and after that it's Doomsday, and after Doomsday it's Spider-Man 4.
Okay.
And then Secret Wars. So
Sweet.
He's gonna be a busy man.
Yeah, along with the fucking 12 other films he has to do in the meantime. Like,
Yeah, like nonstop. That's crazy.
yeah,
I think for me, I mean, there's so many fun ones as I hear you guys talking about your favorites. Like, I'm rolling down the list of all these MCU movies, and like, there's
Yeah.
so many fun ones. Like seeing Iron Man for the first time was sweet. Um, I do love Tom Holland's Spider Man. You have Andrew Garfield. I enjoyed his Spider Man. So many good movies. I think for me, it kind of goes back to what you were talking about, Whistle and Breeze, when it comes to real life situations, making the right choice. And it's the reason this is my favorite is the same reason that like we all love Luke Skywalker, is because of how he takes the high road even when it's hard. And so I think for me, one of my favorites is probably the original Captain America. the
First Avenger.
the way he is just takes the high ground even when he doesn't have the physical ability necessarily to do what needs to be done. He still tries to do the right thing, and I just think of that one scene, and everybody knows it, right, where they throw the dummy grenade and he's the first one to jump on it, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Captain America. Like,
I even think of like when Tony was like, when Steve was like, like if you would you lay lay over the wire for like someone else to crawl over? And Tony's like,
yep,
well, I think I would just cut the wire. But just like
right,
that's just like Steve's thinking is like he's never thinking about himself. He's thinking about everyone else.
right,
Like
yep,
they said it perfectly in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You can replace Captain America, but you'll never be able to replace Steve Rogers. There'll never be another Steve Rogers. There will always be another Captain America.
yes, yep, yeah. And so I just love the original Captain America for that. I thought it was so cool wearing the red, white, and blue. Like, I don't know. I just love that. So
See,
Good.
I like how in Falcon and the Winter, I think, yeah, it's Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I don't know what episode. I've only seen like 2 or 3 episodes, but when they got the fake Captain America dude, like trying to talk to Bucky and Sam, and he's like, I've done my research, man. I've done the work. Bucky's just like, you ever jumped on top of a grenade? No, you haven't. You're not gonna replace
yeah,
it.
yep. And just like with him doing the right thing, like another time, like I'm not a crier, but I teared up, man, at the end when he's saying goodbye to oh, what's her name now? Blanking. Peggy, thank you. When he's saying goodbye to her and he's about to take the thing down,
Yeah.
and he's saying goodbye to her, and I'm like, bro, come on. Like,
Yeah.
and then he wakes up, 60 years later?
Yep. And it's over. Everything's
It's
over.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
But
wild.
that foundation is why later on he's like in Civil War and all of it, he's like, no, we're not going to do things that way. I have lived that before. That never goes right. Like the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like
Yeah.
you think it's going to work out, it is not going to work out.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I
Yeah.
mean,
And
it's
just like
sorry, go ahead.
no, after you, go ahead.
Like Ernstein said, he's like, it only makes you more of you. If you're a good person, it'll only make you a better person. If you're a bad person, it'll only make you a worse person.
Yeah.
Like that serum only amplifies you.
Right. Yeah. And don't get me wrong too, I loved his quote that he had eventually where, Thor and Iron Man are going at it. And he's like, "Are you sure you want to do? They're gods." And he's like, "Man, as far as I'm concerned, there's only one God, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't dress like that." Like just his old school mentality thought, like I don't know, I just love Captain America.
Yep.
I also love like the was he wearing a parachute? What parachute? Right before he was in the water.
What parachute? Oh man. So as we wrap up time here, I want to try and keep this at an hour. We got about 10 minutes here. What have been some of your favorite MCU moments? Now I know there's a lot, but for you, what would be like maybe top 2 or 3 like MCU moments that you were like, man, this was either super cool or this defined the whole, the whole thing for me? Like, what are some moments that you're just like, this just I can never forget this. It's etched into my mind. It lives rent free in my head.
I'll have to say. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, on your left with the portals opening, just because I got the midnight release tickets for it with my friend, and like just having the goosebumps and then hearing like seeing Cap by himself standing down against the entire like Thanos' entire army by himself, and then like I genuinely thought I was like, oh, we're about to see Cap die, and then just on your left, and then hearing like just the goosebumps I got in the theater from that was just I'll never be able to relive that experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So I had a couple friends that I didn't spend a whole lot of time with, but so a couple friends from work, and we all went together to see Endgame. And so being in that theater when Captain America.
Yes, I know where he's going with this.
Yep. Yeah.
I love. Oh man, that's one of mine.
I have never been in a group of people like it. When people say like it was electric, it was electric. The place went ballistic. It was awesome.
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Same thing in my theater. I mean, the whole theater erupted. I mean, it was just it was wild.
I'm gonna piggyback off that too. We got the same reaction when Thor landed in Wakanda. The "Bring Me Thanos."
Yeah.
I've never heard a theater scream so loud before.
Yeah. And that's the thing. They built it up so well, like over years of different movies, and it all came together. So everyone knew, everybody understands, everybody's on the same page. It was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
But you're right. I love that scene, and Thanos has got the axe, and he's putting it into the chest of Thor, and Thor's trying to hold it back, and all of a sudden you just see the hammer go woof and nail him across the face, and just woof. And it comes back, and it's Captain America, and he's got it, and
with the shield, like, both of them.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't believe it, especially until like Thor was like, "I knew it." Like that's when I was like, "No fucking way, this is happening." Yeah. And then just hearing the, dude.
Yeah. Yep. That was so cool. Oh man, that one gives me goosebumps every time I think about it.
I say, I probably can't see, but my arms just got like chills when I was thinking about that.
Yeah,
so awesome. How about you, Star Wars nerd?
All right, so I've actually got 3 favorite moments. First one is obviously when Captain America gets Jonathan the hammer. Bonus, who calls the hammer Jonathan? The hell is it? When Thanos goes, "I am inevitable," and then you just hear the clank of the glove. Tony's just like, "Yeah, and I am Iron Man." And dude, just all of that was amazing. And this last one, it's a little bit of a joke, but it genuinely made me laugh my ass off in the theaters, and I still laugh every time I hear it. It's whenever it's from Civil War when Ant-Man is Giant Man and Peter Parker's swinging around him. He's like, "Yo, have you guys ever seen that really old movie Empire Strikes Back?"
If I have to hear another pop culture reference out of you this trip,
like, yes. I love that. That is good. Yeah, there's
Empire's my favorite movie, so of course that's like my number one.
Going on the snow planet with the huge walkie thingies.
I love that. But I love too, like what you said about when Iron Man, I am Iron Man, right? And just like you said, Cantina Talk, you brought that. Are you willing to lay down your life, put your life on the wire, right? So other men can walk over you. Like that was Iron Man's. I'm gonna lay down my life on that wire so people can walk over. Like, and it was like you said, Seth. It's the people, they were thinking things through. It all had a foundation. It was built up, and it all led to that moment when he's actually like the billionaire playboy philanthropist lays down his life for everyone else. Like
that argument that they had where oh man, now I'm blanking. When Captain America and Iron Man are both arguing against each other, and it's you're never gonna put anyone before you. And it's like, yeah, well, you're only gonna use other people, but then Captain America stands alone, just by himself. He's like, yep, it doesn't matter if anyone's here. I'll stand no matter what. And then, as you're saying, Iron Man at the very end, he's like, look, if I have to die for everyone else to make it, that is okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So,
And he knew that before even going back and doing everything with the time travel, because he made the recording before he even went to Avengers Compound. He knew that he wasn't going to be, most likely wasn't going to be returning.
Right. Yeah. And he was set. He was ready. He was ready for it. Yeah.
I mean,
That's-
it even goes down to like Strange just telling him like only one way, and even Tony like pestering him like tell me, is this it? And he's just like, I can't tell you. If I tell you, it won't happen.
Yeah.
Like I think that even sealed the fate even further for Tony.
Yeah. Yeah. So, real quick, Cantina Talk. I know we're all Marvel fans here, but I know you especially are definitely Marvel. What is your excitement for this, phase, is it 2 of Marvel here and things coming up? And are you excited about the direction?
Yeah. I've said this before and I'll say it again. The next 3 years of Marvel, Star Wars, and DC are probably going to be the next 3 biggest years in the next 100 years for Marvel and DC and Star Wars, if executed right. We have Secret Wars. We have the start of the new DCU. We have hopefully the turn of the tide with Dave's movie has to be Heir to the Empire, and John's movie being obviously Mando and Grogu. This is where the fun begins.
Yes.
Like it's
absolutely.
only up from here. Everyone knows their mistakes, and now they're working past them.
Yeah. Man, if Dave does an Heir to the Empire, so help me, Lord, I'm going to be spending so much money at that theater. It's not even going to be funny.
If Dave's movie isn't titled Heir to the Empire or isn't Heir to the Empire, I'm not going to go see the movie because there's no way that it isn't. Everything is leading towards that times 10.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
If it's like a Rogue Squadron movie instead, I'll probably see it still. But like, I don't know.
Yeah,
it won't. Like it has to be Heir.
It has to be Heir. Yep, absolutely. I agree. So, well, I appreciate it, guys. Like I said, I wanted to keep this at an hour tonight. Before we go, though, I wanted to give at least these guys down here an opportunity to kind of share their channel, what they got coming up. So, Star Wars Nerd, if you want to share first, kind of your channel, where people can find you, what you got coming up next, and then Cantina Talk.
So obviously, as the thing says right here, I'm Star Wars Nerd 00. I run the Tales from Peridia podcast channel where we talk about literally any topic we want to talk about. The biggest thing that I'm working on is I'm trying to get AI voices to cooperate with me because I'm working on my own kind of sequel trilogy / Heir to the Empire love story kind of thing, I guess. And I'm just trying to get that all worked out because I've had the plans worked out for like 2 years now. I've had the whole script written out, but if the AI voices would just work and cooperate with me, we would be great.
That's awesome. Well, excited for things coming out, man. You guys definitely catch us. We're going to be doing some live streams as more guests are announced for Planet Comic Con, so keep an eye there. Cantina Talk. Oh, yeah, hopefully they're good ones. Cantina Talk, where can people find you, and what do you got coming up?
Just at Cantina Talk SW and everything. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And on the 2nd, I know that you guys are going to be there. Star Wars Nerd, you're welcome to be there as well. Same thing with you, Whistle and Breeze. Going to be having like a bunch of YouTubers and content creators getting together that do Star Wars and Marvel to talk about their thoughts, their thoughts, theories, predictions, you name it, for Skeleton Crew the night before episode's release. We're just going to try and unite the community for a night and just talk about everything.
That's cool. I love that. I'm super
Yeah.
I'm Cantina Talk. I'm super excited to be a part of that. Like, I'm stoked.
I am too. I'm still waiting on several people to get back to me. I haven't gotten a time yet because I've messaged probably 30 people and I'm trying to get all of them if possible. So
I love it. I love
There
it.
you
Well,
go.
I'll be one of them. I'll be there. So
What day was
And-
that again?
December 2nd.
December
It's
2nd.
probably going to be around 8 p.m. Central Time. I'll double check with everyone first. But
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So Whistling Breeze, Star Wars Nerd, mark that on your calendars. Big old panel. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, as I said, guys, on here, he put it on there. Be sure to go check him out. Subscribe, Cantina Talk SW on YouTube. Same thing on Instagram and all of his other socials. Cantina Talk SW. Guys, I did hit the 100 subscriber mark. So if you go to, thank you. And it's growing every day. So go to my Instagram page. My latest post, I actually have a giveaway. I'm working with Rebel Scum Apparel to give away a T-shirt. Inside that post, the instructions on how to enter. And then be on the lookout. Once I hit 250, I'm working with Battle Packs Official on a sweet giveaway for 250. So constantly be looking out for that stuff. As always, when it comes to apparel, obviously we love Rebel Scum Apparel. So go to Rebel Scum Apparel, sign up for the rewards, use code SWN00 or Star Wars Gazer at checkout. You'll get 15% off your entire order. Sign up for the rewards. You get points that act towards as money towards your next purchase. It's great. It's awesome. So
I'm not paid to say this. His code does in fact work, and they are in fact legit. I did order my wife a Christmas present from them. So
heck yeah.
everything
There you
you're
go.
saying is 100% true.
I love it.
Nice.
See, look at that. Validation. I love it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Of course.
As always, guys, super excited to have you there. Thank you guys for being a part of the podcast tonight. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I love talking to you guys about everything nerd. Hopefully we get many more of these. So appreciate it. You guys have a good night. May the force be with you. Always.
Always.